Welcome to It's Not Just Menopause, the podcast that empowers you to navigate midlife with confidence through real talk, root cause insights, and no BS strategies that actually work. If you're dealing with fatigue, stubborn weight, brain fog, or just feeling off and overlooked, this show is for you. Discover what's really going on with your hormones and why it's not just about estrogen. Each episode breaks down what your doctor didn't explain, the internet got wrong, and what your body's been trying to tell you all along. From stress and metabolism to nervous system support and functional nutrition, we'll cover the tools that help you feel more like yourself, again, without restrictive diets, overwhelming plans, or hormone hype. I'm your host, Cindy Stickle, functional nutrition practitioner and certified menopause specialist. I'm here to guide you through the midlife noise so you can stop guessing, get the clarity you deserve, and finally take back control of your health. If you've ever felt dismissed, overwhelmed, or like your body just isn't responding the way it used to, you're in the right place. Let's rewrite the menopause story without the fluff. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of It's Not Just Menopause. Again, I'm Cindy Stickle, functional nutrition practitioner and a certified menopause specialist. And today we're talking about something that's really simple, but it's absolutely foundational. Like, it's something that once you do this, it has a huge ripple effect in your menopause journey. And before you roll your eyes and think, Cindy, I've tried morning routines, I'm too tired, too stressed, too busy, please stay with me on this one. Because this isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. or cold plunging or reading a chapter of a personal development book before sunrise. This is about something far more basic and far more powerful. It's about the first 10 minutes of your day and how they can either support your hormones or completely wreck them. So if you've ever wondered why you wake up tired, hit a wall at 10 a.m., feel wired at night, or can't seem to stabilize your mood or cravings, your morning is most likely the reason. So let's get into it. So here's the truth. Most women in perimenopause, yes, it starts in your late 30s to 40s whenever you hit perimenopause, and all the way through postmenopause, start their day in a way that sends their nervous system straight into fight or flight before they've even made it to the bathroom. And it's not intentional. It's not neglect. It's not laziness. It's habit. We've just had bad habits and we've carried them over from decade to decade. You wake up, you grab your phone, you scroll, you read something stressful, the dog needs to go out, the kids are texting, the house is loud, the coffee's brewing, and suddenly your system is already overwhelmed. The problem is, in menopause, perimenopause, all the way up, so from your late 30s on up, your nervous system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Cortisol spikes harder, it stays elevated longer, and it impacts everything: metabolism, inflammation, digestion, sleep, mood, cravings, weight, you name it. So the way your day begins is not just routine. It's hormonal. And once I explain what's actually happening in your body, this will click instantly. Before we get back to today's episode, I've got a quick question for you. Feel like your body's in chaos, but your labs are normal? You're not crazy, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. If you've been told it's just menopause or to wait it out, it's time for real answers. Take my free quiz, What's Really Driving Your Menopause Symptoms. In under 2 minutes, you'll uncover your top hidden stressor and get my free guide, The Menopause Stress Fix, sent straight to your inbox. Head to cindystickle.com/quiz or click the link in the show notes. If you're doing everything right but still feel like a mess, this quiz is your next step. All right, let's get back to today's episode. So let's talk physiology. Simple, no BS, just straight facts. When you wake up, your body is supposed to experience something called the cortisol awakening response. This is normal and necessary. Cortisol should rise slightly to wake you up, to get your brain turned on, your blood sugar stabilized, and your energy online, right? It's supposed to be higher in the morning. And in midlife, like perimenopause on, that response becomes less predictable. For many women, cortisol is too low in the morning and too high at night. And this creates that tired but wired feeling. But here's the kicker. If the very first thing you do in the morning is stressful to your nervous system, that cortisol just overshoots, right? It spikes instead of doing that gentle rise. And that spike is what leads to anxiety before you even leave the house, like if you're leaving for your job, irritability over nothing, carb cravings mid-morning, brain fog, afternoon crashes, nighttime restlessness. So when women tell me, I don't know what's wrong, I wake up tired, I crash in the afternoon, and I'm wired at night, I always ask, well, how do you start your day? Because your morning is your hormonal reset button, and most women press it the wrong way. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 morning mistakes that sabotage your hormones. Mistake number 1 is coffee before minerals. And when I say minerals, it's nothing fancy, okay? But, I love coffee. I still drink coffee to this day, but I have it timed differently when I do drink it, okay? Because coffee before hydration with water is like slamming your foot on the gas pedal when the car is out of oil. Because if that happens, you're going to burn up your engine, right? So your body needs minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium to regulate the cortisol rise. So if you skip that coffee, if you skip that step right before, if you drink coffee before you do your minerals, the coffee hits a dysregulated system and cortisol spikes even harder. And this leads to jitteriness, sugar cravings, anxiety, mid-morning I need something urges, right? And most women think they're doing something wrong when really their system is just overwhelmed before breakfast. Number 2 mistake, okay, when we start the day in our fight or flight mode, unfortunately. And here's a pattern I see, like in 90% of women I talk to, including clients. They wake up, check their phone, read a stressful text or email, scroll, compare, consume, and then their brain instantly signals danger, even if nothing is wrong. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a missed call and that bear that was chasing us thousands of years ago, right? It just knows it as stress. And during perimenopause and menopause, the ability to regulate after activation slows way down. So when your day starts with stress, your hormones stay in stress mode. And then we wonder why weight won't budge, bloat gets worse, mood feels unstable, sleep is broken, energy is very unpredictable. And it's not your age, it's not your willpower, and it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's the order in which your mornings happen. And then mistake number 3 is skipping or skimping on a protein-rich breakfast. So I'm going to say something that you might not like. If you're not hungry in the morning, that's not normal. That's a sign your cortisol is too high. Skipping breakfast keeps blood sugar unstable, and unstable blood sugar leads to unstable cortisol. Now our insulin already is on the rise, is on the rise when we're in menopause. Like we're more sensitive to it. So when our blood sugar is unstable, it hits us even harder. And this is why you're going to feel starved by 2 p.m., exhausted at 3 p.m., snacking at night, craving sugar or carbs, totally wiped out after dinner. A protein-forward breakfast stabilizes your metabolism before the day even begins. And if you want stable hormones, you need stable blood sugar. And breakfast is where that starts. And I'm going to say something very not popular is stop intermittent fasting. That in menopause, your body sees it as stress. And then it spikes the cortisol, holds on to the weight, and you're not losing weight. Because when you're hungry, your body doesn't know where that food is, the next meal's coming from. So it automatically puts it in fight or flight if it's not there already. So going longer than your normal, not eating after dinner to when you wake up and eat breakfast, 12 hours is like the max you should have been fasting. Because it's just a downward spiral from perimenopause on. Okay. So let's talk about what actually works. And this is where my calm pillar comes in. It's the very first pillar in my system. But here's the great news. You don't need a long morning routine. No, I'm one for hitting that easy button. I don't like anything that's going to take a long time, because when it's not something that you're going to be doing all the time, repeatable, then you're never going to do it. So, and you also don't need 20 steps or perfection, especially perfection. Okay. Stop starting over on Monday, please. That's not what this is about. You just need regulation for your nervous system. So let's go to step 1. And when I was talking about the minerals, right? Mineral rich hydration before coffee. So plain water hydrates. Mineral rich water replenishes. So that is water with electrolytes. Now, please be careful if you're buying packaged electrolytes. There's so many added toxins and crap in them. So please read the labels. Just put a pinch of mineral rich salt in a glass of water. That's all you need. Or a mineral supplement. I do take my magnesium supplement. But I do, when on days that I work out, I do add electrolytes to my water. And just give your body what it needs before you give it caffeine. Okay, this one shift alone changes everything. I have stopped drinking coffee before my protein shake. I have my protein shake every morning. It's got between 36 and 40 grams of protein in it. I drink it on the days I work out while I'm working out. And other days I just drink it. And a lot of people talk about that you should have real food, for breakfast and skip the protein shakes. Well, for one, my protein powder is extremely healthy and it doesn't have sugar in it and it doesn't have that erythritol crap in it that is toxic. So don't use anything that has fake sugar, because it's just it's just hurting your body in other ways. You're better off with real organic cane sugar. But if you have to consume a shake for one of your meals, that's fine. Make sure your other 2 meals are real food. But yeah, I've seen people post that, you should have a real breakfast. Yes, but sometimes life isn't like that, right? You got to fit it in where you can. So step 2 is do 60 to 120 seconds of nervous system regulation, which is 1 to 2 minutes, okay? And I'm not telling you to meditate for 20, right? I'm talking about tiny tools that take less than 2 minutes. So you want to try slow nasal breathing, putting one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Do a long exhale, stretching for 30 seconds, standing outside in fresh air. I mean, simple little things like that. And these tiny resets tell your cortisol response that you're safe, you're steady, and you don't need to spike. Because once your body feels safe, that's when everything else starts to work. And you've heard me say this before on other episodes, if you've heard different ones. When our body is in fight or flight, it shuts off digestion, your immune system, and other systems within our body, and it's protecting you from that threat that it perceives. Even though it's not a real life danger, like an animal chasing you threat, it doesn't know the difference. So it is shutting down, like you're not getting nutrients from your meals. Your immune system, if you wonder why you're constantly sick, that's why. You're in fight or flight, and your body is not feeling safe for everything to start working again. And so you can literally shift your nervous system with just a couple minutes of breathing slowly, like the box breathing or anything like I just mentioned. It does affect your nervous system. And the more you do it, the more your nervous system is going to start to feel safe again. And when it starts to feel safe again, that's when all the nutrients that you eat are actually going to go to where it needs to go in your body. And that's step 3, a protein forward breakfast. So again, we always want to try and aim for around 30 grams of protein per meal, because we should all be getting at least 100 grams of protein a day, if not more. And it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm lactose intolerant, but for those that aren't, a Greek yogurt bowl, you can get a ratio yogurt. My husband eats them all the time. They have 25 grams of fat, 25 grams of protein right in it. There's a meal right there. I wish I could eat them, but my stomach doesn't like milk. You can have the protein smoothie like I do. And I use OWYN, OWYN, only what you need is what it stands for. And like I said, it's between 36 to 40 grams of protein each shake. Eggs with, we want to like bacon, but turkey bacon, because you don't want to get too much of the animal fats and that extra grease, because that's still not really healthy for us. Leftovers totally allowed, right? But make sure it has enough protein, all right? Because if you just only eat like a bagel and that's it, you're spiking your blood sugar, which spikes your cortisol, and you're gonna crash, because that's what happens to me. So you're doing your body no good without protein. Because protein stabilizes your blood sugar, which stabilizes your cortisol, like I said, whilst it stabilizes you. And so a regulated morning is a regulated day. So when you start off your morning with just those 3 simple steps, you will be ahead of the game. Okay, definitely. And why do these tiny shifts work better than a total overhaul? Okay, most women think they need a full morning routine makeover, and you don't. Your nervous system responds to micro regulations, not massive effort. These tiny little consistent shifts that actually compound and add up to major shifts, right? This is why women in my program see such big transformations, because we're not piling more on your plate. We're supporting your physiology so your body can finally do what it's designed to do. And once your mornings become regulated, everything else gets easier. Energy, mood, digestion, metabolism, sleep, resilience. This is a foundation, and this is like getting to the root cause of why your body's acting the way it is. You can keep putting a Band-Aid on it and you'll never figure out why, and the problems will never go away. But when you find the root cause, that's when you can fix something, and then you get benefits from that. And if you're listening to this and realizing, oh wow, my mornings are absolutely stressing out my system, you're not alone, and you're not doing anything wrong. You've just never been taught how your hormones actually work in midlife, which I don't like that word, but like after 40, right? And if you want a simple, realistic way to start regulating your system, like as soon as tomorrow morning, without adding more to your plate, I've created something that you're going to love. It's my nervous system morning reset, and it gives you the exact tiny habits that help calm your body, support your cortisol pattern, and set your hormones up for a steady, grounded day. No long routines, no overwhelm, just small shifts at work. And on this, you can start with just one of them. There's 5 in there. You don't have to do all 5 at once. Just start with one. The link will be in the show notes, and you can download it there. And just remember, your body is not failing you. It's communicating with you. Every symptom, everything, it's screaming at you that something's going on. And we just need to learn to listen to it. Okay? And when you learn how to listen and then support it, especially first thing in the morning, everything changes. Okay? So thank you for listening, and I will be in your headphones next week. Thank you for tuning into It's Not Just Menopause. I hope today's episode gave you real clarity about what's actually going on in your body and reminded you that it's not just your hormones, and it's definitely not your fault. If you found value in this conversation, make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Cindy Stickle Nutrition, or head to cindystickle.com for more resources and personalized support on your menopause and midlife health journey. Until next time, keep questioning what you've been told and trust that your body is not broken. You just need the truth and the tools that actually work.